Alright, good morning, afternoon, or possibly evening, anyone who's watching this. This is going to be a possibly small or maybe even a big status update of things that are going to come in the next weeks, maybe months. The internet access might get a bit iffy, you see, so I wanted to get some things down and logged in case this becomes a several month long hiatus, possibly. I thought about adding a fun little background animation or doing this in my character's style, but I'm not going to. This isn't comedy, this isn't content, I'm not going to monetize this video. But first of all, I wanted to start with how pretty proud I am of how the channel's doing. Since we started 2 years ago, we had 100 thereabouts back then, subscribers on YouTube. We're now up to 310 2 years later. Upper Hive is still popular, people still want to play, they want to be engaged, it's growing at a steady rate. My animation quality on a personal level is improving, I'd like to think. I now have foregrounds and backgrounds and such, I can mess with perspective a little bit. And, well, I think I should probably start at the beginning for this one. Having a go at YouTube first started in my first year at university, that would have been at the end of 2014. I was looking at other people's videos and didn't really put it together that people like Gunner, Thunder Psyker, and Alpha Busa knew each other. I didn't really know that. And I did, and I made a deliberate decision to think, oh, hang on, I could give that a go. So I did. We're now at the end of the first trimester of my final year at university, and I'm going to withdraw from the course. There are different details, but long and short, I won't be able to complete the degree. I'm withdrawing from it. So I was studying to be a game developer. That's not going to happen. I don't want to do it, and I'm not good enough to do it. So I'll be leaving university in days or weeks to come, before Christmas, hopefully, and moving back in with my parents. Internet coverage will be very spotty, because the house that we live in is being torn down and rebuilt. And the one we're in right now doesn't have internet installed. It's one that they rent out, you see, so it doesn't have internet. I'll have to, get a job. Generally, things aren't looking too great, I was hoping to get a degree. That's not going to happen. Feel like a bit of a disappointment to some people, but, onwards and upwards and all that. This might only last a couple of days. For all I know, they've got a router in, or the house might be rebuilt by January. That would be great. Or it could be several months. There'll be another hiatus, maybe. I'm going to try to stay up, because I'm having a bit of day-night reversal. I'm going to try and stay up for tonight's Upper Hive game, and get that out on YouTube as soon as possible. If I disappear, just be aware Upper Hive will continue. Nihil, who's become a sort of unofficial second-in-command, has all the same powers I do in the Steam group and the Discord. He can run games. He was running them long before I came in. He's been around much longer than I have. So, to start at the beginning, when starting on YouTube, I noticed very quickly that collaboration is key. It's important to get other people on board that can help you, and you can help them. You have to be genuine about that. Of all people, it was actually a video that bloody Markiplier made when he talked about on YouTube how people didn't help each other, they didn't work together, they were out for themselves and wanted to keep what they had instead of helping other people. So it's a sort of quid pro quo situation. And when I started, I still keep in touch, by the way. I started with another channel, which I just asked in his comment section, do you want to do a video together? It was Mr. No Face. I'll be sure to link everything in the description, by the way. And he said, sure. And he said, sure, and we played some games together. It was great. I went through several username changes, trying to settle on who I was and what I was doing. Video content styles. Like, particularly, I found that doing, the old-fashioned Let's Play stuff by myself wasn't funny. My gaming content is significantly the weakest part of what I do. So I've shelved that quietly and moved on to just doing the animation sketches and Upper Hive. This led, at the end of my first year in university, to discovering the Alpha Legion was a community. That's where Alpha Busa was at the time, and where people around him were. Unfortunately, I was joining at the tail end. It was on the way out, definitely. The heyday for the Alpha Legion was definitely during 2013, so I was several years late. I spent 10 hours a day in the TeamSpeak because, well, when you're not sleeping at night, what else are you going to do? I didn't really want to talk to people. I'm paranoid that people talked about me behind my back, get hostile with people without even having met them. It was a bad situation, and it was probably for the best that it died, but while it was still around, during the summer of 2015, I moved house. And this was the time when I started to run Upper Hive games. It was being run before that, but not really taken seriously. I wanted it, Upper Hive, as a thing to call my own, because I hadn't made any contributions. I was getting frustrated that I wasn't doing anything, I wasn't getting noticed. I don't know why I wanted to be noticed. But I started to run Upper Hive. I put out the first episode on YouTube and was very surprised at the response it got. It had over 1,000 views on it, which for me was a big victory. It's, oh my god, people want this. And people were saying they wanted to play. The driving reason, I suppose, was I hated the fact and the feeling that, hey, you're in the shadow of popular people here. You know, you're a guy in a crowd, for God's sake. They can't pay attention to you. I hated that feeling and wanted to make something myself, get a following of my own. Upper Hive, in its current form, is not quite strong enough to be independent. It's still piggybacking off other people's communities. But I would definitely say it's stronger than it was. We have our own Discord, we have the Steam group, and one day I hope it'll stand on its own. Eventually, this would have been during the beginning of the second year. No, before that, actually. Alpha Bucer had left the Alpha Legion, and it pretty much collapsed from there. I stopped paying attention. I'm a member on the Discord, as it currently exists, but I don't pay attention. I haven't really kept in touch with anyone in the Alpha Legion. And lacking anything else to do, I joined a guild for Eternal Crusade to try and fill the void, Vigila Mortis, run by Valrak. That did not work. After about 8 months, there was a hiatus, and I came back and thought, I'll play some EC, I'll get in some events, it'll be good. I was kicked out for no reason. It wasn't explained to me. But I'm just going to call that a very negative experience I had with VM. I feel very bitter about that. I felt like I was personally insulted. So after that, I went to Zoran the Bear's Discord via a stream that Alpha Bucer did. He suddenly came out of the woodwork and said, hey guys, I'm doing a QA thing while playing Eternal Crusade. So I thought, oh, I'll watch that. I'll play EC, I'll try and find them. And I did, and it was fun. Didn't get to join in, obviously, but I got to play in the same game as them. On a personal level, there are some very minor and possibly pathetic victories which I count for myself, which I suppose is what I get out of being in these communities. One of them was just being recognised by someone more popular by name. Like, I donate to Alpha and Zoran, both of them, on Patreon. Probably shouldn't, it's probably a waste of money in the long run, but God bless them, I'll do it, I'll help them. And it works. I'm recognised. They know me by name, which is nice, I suppose. It just makes me feel nice. It's silly, but that's just a thing that I have. I'm still trying to raise my own profile, my own brand, by getting involved with other people's work. It's not really working. Like, I didn't use social media until this year. That's how behind the times I was. Alpha is overstocked with people to do voice work, and I'm not an exceptional voice actor. I have this terrible lisp, you can probably hear it. Even after investing in a new microphone, I don't have a very good range. I was never going to get in that way. But I did, however, get in a video of his, which was nice. I'm in a video on Alpha Bucer's channel called Random Stream Thing, which he did for his patrons. On Patreon, he opened up, hey, I'm making a video, we're going to write the script, animate it, put it out there, and I contributed, and I voiced an Arbitrace. It was very nice. There's even a link to my channel. Apart from that, I'm trying to create a solid foundation of content. Like, if people go to your channel, they should be able to go back several pages and still find stuff you've made, instead of just 1 or 2 videos. Upper Hive is the linchpin. That's what I've come to realise. Like, even now, people are like, oh, I'd love to play, but I don't think they don't think they'd be welcome. Absolutely, come aboard. No one is turned away. Upper Hive is the linchpin. People are drawn to it, possibly because they want to be on YouTube. I mean, I understand that. That's why I took it over in the first place. Other videos are short sketch things, which sometimes are attempts to improve animation. Like Dr. White, personally, was a big help. He taught me how to put background and foreground dust or atmospheric fog rolling in behind the characters to give a 3D effect, and it worked very well. but they're not funny when I improve animation. Like, I mean, that one I did of Zoran singing Dwarven music, I mean, where's the joke? That's not really funny at all. It's not much to look at either. Other times I think I strike gold, and I make a good 40k joke that I'm very proud of. Like, my most popular one was Random Sergeant's Worst Enemy, which was just a Dawn of War reference that I felt had to get out there. And a personal twinge of mine, which was every time someone attributes the screaming "ah" meme to a Sly Marbo, I correct them and say, no, that's the Random Sergeant from Dawn of War, he's the one who originally did it. For God's sake, give the man some credit. If Sly Marbo didn't get some voice actors to give him a screaming line, that's his problem. So where do we go from here, now that we're at the end of the third year in university and I'm leaving? Leaving university, that is. Well, the Steam group's growing. Membership is about 51 members and rising. I'm now on social media, so I'm not behind that train anymore. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Gab, in case Twitter goes the way of the dodo, you know. I've got my own Discord up and running, that's great. People want to be involved. It's very encouraging to see something like that. The end goal, which I've always tried to be open about, even if people think that I'm being selfish, I one day hope to have a Patreon of my own. I hope to get, well, money doing this sort of thing. I want it to be a thing that I can do for a living. Cautious optimism for the future is the order of the day. Nothing's ever as bad as it seems to be. I'll still be around for the coming days, maybe weeks. It depends how long the university takes to get me the paperwork I need to withdraw from the course. I'm mainly active on Zoran's Discord. I tend to hang out there, you know, occasionally get involved with a stream of his if I'm lucky. I'm on the Upper Hive Discord, or the Shuck. The Shuck, by the way, is a separate community run by Nahil, which, you know, it was just it's nice to be involved there. I still want to be involved in, you know, other people's work, such as Alpha or Zoran, even though I don't exactly have a professional setup. I mean, right now I'm at a desk in a university room, no soundproofing, no pop filter, just with a Blue Yeti, which is the most expensive piece of hardware I own. I'm not leaving empty-handed. I plan to get a partial certificate of completion from the university, so I'll show that to people maybe. Become a QA tester maybe, or a designer, instead of a game developer. As for the channel itself, I'm still very enthused and, you know, just a little bit in love with the character Shas'O that I created, which was just a pun, but then I got art of it, paid Eliphas the Inheritor to draw him. I love the character, and the wacky 40k setting that you could just take one look at that character. Oh, it's a Tau with big arms that fights in melee, that's so crazy. You take the entire universe of 40k and make it like that, and you're golden. It's a very niche community, but I'm glad it exists. I see other people's characters, like these wacky, mostly orcs. There's a surprising amount of orcs, actually. Guardsman characters, like Nahil's character is traditionally a guardsman. Nathan's a bloody servo skull. There's only a loose adherence to the law, which I find appealing. You know, if you wanted to take 40k seriously, I'd probably go out and play tabletop, but this is more interesting. It's a very interesting time to be in this community. I'll leave all the links that I've talked about in the description, and then the last note that I have written down on this little notepad I wrote for myself is video games. So I assume that means I'll be playing video games. I should probably record... I'll do that. I'll record video games and play that in the background, you know. Other than that, I hope the channel continues to grow, as always. I hope that other people help me make it grow, and I'll help them in return gladly. And, I mean, that's more or less it at this point. I'll see you at tonight's game of Upper Hive if you attend. The links to that will be in the description, of course. See you at tonight's game, put that on YouTube, and then if I disappear for a while, don't panic, Mr. Mandarin. Goodbye.